It really opened my eyes as to things that bother students, things that worry them and they want prayer for. And interestingly enough, shockingly to me, some of the topics are topics that I never even dreamt of when I was a student back in the day in college. Stuff that you'd think college students would never worry about, all of a sudden today is a major worry. That was eye-opening.
Anything we want to remember in prayer today?
Any prayer requests today?
Lord, please guide us today as we
Ask for your love to shine in our hearts.
Ask all of this in your name.
And so when you teach, you say to yourself, okay, I can start the class with prayer, but how does it get personal? I picked up one of the academic magazines that advertise their books and stuff, and I read one short article of this guy that had a box that he collected prayer requests in. And I thought to myself, that's it. So I customized a little bit. I didn't want to walk around campus with a little box or be known as, the weird guy. So I basically decided to take these 3x5 index cards. I placed them in the classroom. I said, please take a card, write your name on because I'm going to use that for attendance today. But then once they had the cards, I explained, and also I pray for you guys by name. You can't stop me from praying for you. So you might as well tell me what to pray for. Some of them get very personal. Some of them write stuff that is highly confidential. And of course, coming from a counseling background, it's ingrained into me that confidentiality is important. So I don't show the cards to anybody. I never share anything specific about any one person or prayer request. That has to remain confidential. One of the areas that I absolutely love looking at is the area of relationships, which, if I look at my graph, was actually the biggest thing that stood out for prayer requests. The number one thing they prayed about was relationships. I found out that number one was family. And if I drill down on that, these are not general prayer requests, be with my father, be with... Stuff's happening. Then number two really surprised me positively. I just jumped up and down when I realized this. The second largest thing was seeking a close relationship with God. That tells me what's going on campus. There's a hunger to have a real, meaningful relationship with God, and people are praying for that. They are seeking that. The other thing that was quite interesting, if I drill down in relationships, is that they prayed a lot for their friends as well. Some of that has to do with relational drama, but some of that also is just, my friend got hurt in the volleyball team, that type of thing. So care for the friends, which once again tells me something good is happening on this campus. There's meaningful relationships of people caring for one another. Now, here comes a surprise. Here's something I thought about a lot, and that I think a lot of people thought about a lot, that doesn't really feature that great in these prayer requests, and that is boyfriend-girlfriend issues. Now, please bear in mind that we've zoomed in from the total prayer requests down to just the relational section, and now we're zooming into that. So it's a second drill down, and it's only 11% of the drill down from the drill down. So it's really minute to think that college students, where hormones are flowing, and you're meeting all these new people, and everybody's eligible and so forth, that you only have 11% praying for boyfriend-girlfriend issues. One thing that I've noticed that was quite interesting, though, that I've not had last year. This year I'm having quite a few prayer requests to get boyfriends or girlfriends. People basically saying to the Lord, I'm ready and I'm seeking a relationship. Can you help me find the right person for me? One of the most surprising prayer requests that I get in huge volumes is for health. Now, I can understand students praying for grandpa and grandma, and perhaps dad is in a car accident or mom's having surgery. I can understand that type of thing, but a vast number of these prayer requests are for personal health, for college students. And it's like, when I was 20 years old, I thought I was never going to die. This health thing has really puzzled and bamboozled my mind. Why are college students so fixated on this when it never crossed my mind when I was in college? And if I can't figure something out, it drives me nuts. So I drilled down on that as well. I was trying to figure out what's going on here. And here's what I found in the drill down. 50% of these prayer requests are actually for physical health. And although I don't have scientific data to back it up, I'll heavily favor COVID playing a major role here. There's a few of these subtopics that will fall under the main heading of mental health, mental well-being. And so we've got stress, we've got a lot of prayer requests praying for strength to cope, etc. We have grief, mental health, that actually mention the word mental health. We have self-esteem, and a strange one that I was also not expecting for this age demographic, and that is for motivation. Typically at that age you're idealistic, you want to change the world, you attack everything with gusto, but to have a number pray for, and it's a reasonably significant number, pray for motivation, which I am seeing again this semester, is quite strange to me. Some of that could be related to depression, workload. I think COVID has played a role in that. Isolation, you're alone, and so you worry more, you ruminate more versus talking about good stuff and having fun together. There seems to be a correlation to when COVID and flus and stuff happen with mental health requests as well. They seem to be tied. I don't have scientific data on that, but I can see this in the prayer requests. So let me give you an overview of the broad categories that are most popular for prayer requests. Number one is actually relationships. Number two is mental health and physical health. Then number three, we have workload. A lot of our students have to work to pay bills, to pay tuition. And so when you couple that with studying, it puts a lot of pressure on students. But a lot of that also is simply for certain classes that stand out more than others. Then the rest of it is kind of small. We have praying for the future and jobs. Obviously that's more your senior students. And typically more on your spring semester because they're getting ready to graduate, and so that becomes more heavily on their hearts. Then next we have a section for other. And these other things are, I've got a speaking assignment in class. Now I'm petrified of public speaking. An anonymous prayer request, or I have a secret behavior that I'm working on, those type of things. I had just a small handful that pray for safety, and these are things like traveling. Maybe it's before Thanksgiving and all of a sudden they pick up because they know they're going home the next weekend and so forth. So they'd fall in that category. It's interesting to see that from time to time I'll get a prayer card back that says, please pray for this today, but then there's a note at the bottom. I just want you to know that this prayer request we've been praying for 2 months, it's answered. And it's just go, yes, this is awesome. One of the biggest standouts for me is what this whole thing has done for me in my relationship with my students. It has just given me an extra level of care. If an assignment comes in late, or perhaps someone doesn't do that well on a test, I have in my back of mind, I know why. There's things going on with that person, and it just gives me a soft spot and makes me want to extend a bit of grace more. It's really changed my view of seeing students not just as students but as people like me, going through things and so forth, and it just gives me care and compassion for them even more than what I had before.